Memphis Shelby County Schools made headlines this week for all the wrong reasons. Saturday, the MSCS school board blasted an outside search forum for how it whittled down the finalists. Since then, 2 of those finalists took their names out of contention. After that, community groups spoke out and demanded more transparency and public input in the process. The board is holding a special meeting Monday to update the public, but board members tell ABC24 they can still meet the deadline to name a superintendent by late May. Well, Reverend Whalum, you are a former Memphis City School Board member. What do you make of just the fact that 2 of these internal MSCS candidates, Interim Superintendent Tony Williams and Deputy Superintendent of Schools and Academic Support, Dr. Angela Whitelaw, 2 of them are internal candidates? Does that still surprise you after this national search?
No, it doesn't surprise me. As a former school board member and as a member of the Community Advisory Committee that was just advising on the search, let me say 2 things very clearly. Fortunately or unfortunately, it is not the community's job to hire the superintendent. It is not the mayor's job. It is not anybody else's job. It is the job of the elected Board of Commissioners. And it has gotten to be, and this is the second thing I want to say, it's embarrassing. It's a hot mess. They are the ones, though, who will have to extract us from this mess. I have said since we started talking about this on this show back in December that if Tony Williams had been interested in the position, she should not have accepted the interim tag. That just makes common sense. No matter how effective a leader she is, she tainted her own chances by saying she didn't want to be the full-time superintendent. If she is interested, she should withdraw now from the interim position. Step back. Let the process handle itself. Finally, they need to pause it for good. Allow the schools to operate. If Tony's doing a great job and she decides she's not interested in the full-time position, let her stay and run the schools and take as long as it takes to get a new superintendent. Do not try to rush it. Do not try to hire a superintendent this school year.
Otis, on your commentary on Friday, you called this a debacle. I mean, you've been here a long time as a journalist. Do you ever remember a superintendent search playing out like this?
Oh, yes, I have, as a matter of fact. Maybe not in the same fashion. But in 1978, when John P. Freeman retired, and he had already paved the way for Deputy Superintendent Willie Harrington to take his place, and the school board decided not to go with him. They went with a guy from Grosse Pointe, Michigan that has absolutely no connection to Memphis. And that kind of gets to one thing that Ken said that I take a little issue with. That is that when they announced that they wanted William Coates from Grosse Pointe, the community rose up there and said, no, we don't want you. And they made their feelings known. So, I mean, there is some room here for some community input into this because of the stakes being so high. But Ken is absolutely right, and I said it in the commentary on Friday, that their number 1 job is to select and then oversee the superintendent. And if you're not doing that well, and there's some good people on the school board, I'm not denigrating them individually. But I agree with Ken. This is a bad look. It is a debacle, as I said. They should be embarrassed by it. The search firm has done a poor job, and maybe they do need to pause this.
Well, would you apply for the position? If you had been one of the candidates before this mess, would you stay in this mess? I don't think you would.
No.
I know that
and
I would.
2 have already said thanks, but no thanks.
Right.
2.
I don't want to have anything to do with
this hasn't
it.
even been a week.
That's right. I wouldn't be surprised if others drop out of it. But let me stress again that I would not be in a rush. I would not be in a rush. This is the most important high-profile position in the city of Memphis. And I know for a fact that there are corporate interests where individuals have been approaching school board members trying to have some influence, I think improperly so, but it is what it is. It's up to the school board commissioners. They say they're speaking for the community. Okay, but your job is to hire the superintendent. You listen to the community, as Otis said, but you don't let people in the community tell you how to do your job. Brad, it was embarrassing the way those sitting commissioners waited until the final moment at that meeting on that Saturday where the search firm was making their recommendations. It was not fair for them to then blow up at that point and start objecting and asking questions. If they had wanted to be involved, they could have been involved since December.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, this is, like you were saying, a high profile. This is critical. With 3rd grade retention laws in place now. Right. I mean, there's academic challenges. I mean, how important is this to get this right? Whether it's paused or done now or
If we don't pause it, it's going to look like it was rushed, whether it is rushed or not. Perception is everything. If Otis and I were just talking about it. If third graders can't read, man, they're not going to be productive citizens. And then we'll be coming back talking about how much money we need to spend for enlarging the jails and increasing the police force because we don't have productive citizens.
Again, Ken and I are agreeing a lot today, which is kind of unusual, but we are. But having said that, you don't want the MSCS district to be seen as a rudderless ship, that there's nobody in charge. Even though Tony Williams is still the interim, there are complaints that she doesn't necessarily have the academic experience to do this job. That's why some people say she shouldn't be a finalist. So, yeah, okay, if you want to pause it, fine, but it's still going to come across as, well, who's in charge out there? I'm not sure that anybody believes that there's a lot of leadership being applied right now in the MSCS. That's my point.
That's why elections are so important, man. We've got Shelby County School Board members who apparently are not willing to take the responsibility and move forward.
Yeah.
Well, sort of that special meeting's tomorrow or Monday, so we'll see what maybe clarity or where we go for the process from here. Well, Great topic. We have to leave it there.